You know how people say that our generation can't take anything seriously? Well, I'm starting to believe that that might be true, because the flag from One Piece is now becoming the real-life symbol for youth protests around the world. That's right, we're gonna dive into this, but first, make sure you hit that like button because it helps way more than you know. Alright, in case you didn't know, multiple countries have been getting absolutely wrecked by youth-led protests across the world. And the symbol that has been used to unite these youth is Luffy's pirate flag from the manga/anime One Piece. In countries like France, the Philippines, Nepal, and Indonesia, the flag is becoming a common symbol. It's been getting painted in the streets, placed outside people's homes, and in Nepal, they even hung it up on the gate of the parliament buildings that they lit on fire. It's gotten to the point where governments like Indonesia have called the flag an act of treason, which is crazy because it's an anime flag. But let's talk about it. Why Luffy's flag? Well, there's two reasons. One, because the youth loves anime. And with more than 500 million copies sold worldwide, what anime is more universal than One Piece? One protester said, "We wanted the movement to feel like a Gen Z movement, so the slogans and symbols used during the protests were linked to things that Gen Z youth could relate to." So that's the obvious reason, right? It's very recognizable to the youth. But the second reason is a bit deeper. You see, One Piece at its core is not just some goofy pirate adventure. It's a story about fighting oppression. Think about it. The whole premise is Luffy and his crew, the Straw Hat Pirates, sailing the seas, going island to island, tearing down corrupt leaders, and standing up against the world government that's trying to silence them. That flag doesn't just represent pirates, it represents rebellion. It's about people who refuse to bow down even when the odds are stacked against them. That's Luffy in a nutshell, right? And if you're a young person in 2025 living under governments that feel corrupt and repressive, that imagery kinda hits. One protester in the Philippines said, "Even though we have different languages and cultures, we speak the same language of oppression. We see the flag as a symbol of liberation against oppression, that we should always fight for the future we deserve." So that's the deeper symbolism here. It's not just an anime flag, it's a visual language for resistance. To them, Luffy's flag says, "We know the system is broken and we're not afraid to fight back." And that's why it resonates so much with Gen Z. They don't want some serious political banner with a slogan that no one feels attached to. They want something that reflects who they are, what they grew up with, and how they see themselves, which is underdogs trying to take down an unfair system. So yeah, when you zoom out and look at this, it's kind of funny, but it's also kind of amazing. Like the underlying message that the One Piece creator wrote into a show actually became a reality. Not the way he pictured, I'm sure, but still. I mean, just imagine opening up the history books in 50 years and reading about the anime flag that sparked a revolution. But honestly, that's the point, right? Every generation finds its symbols, things that make sense to them, things that carry weight in their struggles. I guess for Gen Z, that just happens to be anime. And I know I've taken a very lighthearted tone in this video, but I don't want to undersell how serious the situation is. These protests are deadly. People have died, lives and property have been destroyed, but the youth feels like the ends justify the means when it comes to fighting a government that doesn't have their best interests at heart. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if it's a flag, a meme, a cartoon pirate. What matters is what it represents and what brings the passion out of people. The more you think about it, the less weird it gets, right? They needed a symbol that represented courage in the face of oppression. And that's what the show is all about. And treasure. Like this channel, you should subscribe. Shogun!